and welcome to race number 5. We are here at Pocono at the Tricky Triangle. Just finishing up practice right now. Got a minute left. Currently seeing Brian Lorenzo on your screen. And there is Brady Floyd. You know, I don't know if that was intentional or not. But hopefully you can get another crack at this thing. Currently on our provisional poll, we have Malachi Drake. Wow, nice for him. In the 07. See if anyone can topple him. And Brian Lorenzo is about ready to pull off. Yeah, I think Steve Paul Irvin's on track. He's currently second in the 51. Oh, he's just sitting there. Joseph Darnell, go to him. Oh, he's on track. Currently 12th. He's trying to get better than that this lap. Down the backstretch into that very sharp turn number 2, and practice is over. Qualifying is over. We are going to be gridding up, and we'll be starting our main event. It looks like on pole is going to be Malachi Drake, so as soon as he grids up, I will go over our lineup through everybody that is in the race.
All right, welcome everybody to Pocono Raceway for tonight's race. I believe we have 60 laps, 60% fuel, 2 sets of tires. Yeah, just normal stuff. Any questions, let me know.
Alright, I'm just trying to get my whereabouts back. We'll be taking a look at Malachi Drake in the 07. He's going to be leading us to green tonight, all the way up here. Starting second, his outside is going to be number 51. Paul Irvin. In third place, it's going to be the 41. Our friend Dean Demmer. In fourth place position, it is the 7 of Aaron Brown. I've raced with Aaron before, talented racer. I do not think he been in the series before. I saw him chatting in Discord, so it's nice to see him competing tonight. In the fifth place position is going to be the number 6. Jeffrey Israel Jr.
No copy.
And other sounds that are popping up. I don't know why. Because I turned off chat. Because you don't know what anyone's really gonna say. Behind Jeffrey Israel Jr. is gonna be Dustin Carroll. Actually, no, it's not. Picker's being dumb. Anyways, we're going to go back up to Malachi Drake. Hopefully there's no more sounds, because it should be turned off.
Good luck, guys. Have some fun tonight.
Yeah, it's on. I apologize.
Long race. Be patient.
Okay, somehow it turned itself back on. Thankfully, no one said anything bad. So Malachi Drake will be leading us to the green, followed by the 51 on his outside. I'll be able to update my ticker and we will be golden. Everybody will be in their order. And we'll be going racing tonight. 3 sets of tires, 60% fuel. Gonna be 60 laps tonight. Pace car is gonna go down the safety of pit road, and we are gonna get going racing. Might see some 3 wide here on the start.
Green.
Might not. Who knows? Away we go. Malachi Drake being pushed right now by Dean Demmer in the 41. As he's going to lead us into turn number 1. Very long here. You can see people going out 3-4 wide already. Kind of more in the back and middle of the pack. And then they all need to come down into where it's going to narrow up, especially turn 2. But right now they can still keep it 2 wide. I'm going to like this camera angle a little better for the race. And currently Aaron Brown already making moves. We have Paul Irvin. He's sliding back a little bit. He might fall to 4th, but he's battling very well on the top side against Aaron Brown. He's going to maintain 3rd place position. Aaron's going to dive it deep in behind him. Starting to get out of my frames here. And we're about ready to complete lap number 1 here at Pocono. Very long track. That's why it's only 60 laps. And the draft is going to be very important here. Oh, shoot. Thank you, John. Alright, I am sorry. The thing is all... Yeah, no, we're good. I apologize. Oh my gosh. Trying to keep it straight and bugging on me. I apologize for that. But right now, we are back to single file. The best opportunity to pass at this track is going to be trying to get the draft, trying to get down on someone's inside. But as the tires wear, just like we saw with the 6 of Jeffrey Israel Jr., you can get tight. And if you hit the wall, kind of crush your nose a little bit, well, it's going to be one rough race. And as I'm talking right now, Dean Demmer, he got the run on Malachi Drake, looking to the inside of him, trying to take over the lead. The 51, Paul Urban, is trying to kind of go where the 41 isn't, and actually, they take over the 2nd spot. Top side getting that momentum. And it looks like they sorted out kind of back right where they started. Because of that shuffle though, Jeffrey Israel to the inside of the 7. He's going to slide up the track a little bit. From the angle, I can't quite tell if there's any contact going on there. But they seem to keep it straight and actually cost the 6 a lot of momentum. He's right now under pressure by Brian Lorenzo, who's being pushed by Will Cloud. And so far, like always, trying to make moves, but doesn't look like anyone can kind of seal the deal quite yet. Same thing with Dean Demmer. He got run, popped out of line, had to slot back in though. Back on the screen to see Will Cloud trying to go to the outside. That actually might be the best move you can make to get around Jeffrey Israel. He's going to almost complete the pass. But getting wide, has to get out of the throttle a little bit. 6 is just going to sit right there on his spoiler, but Will Cloud still has enough momentum to take over the 6th place position right now. And Israel is now under pressure by Brad Stefane in that 89 car. But Brad's currently looking like he just wants to push him. Oh, I'm a liar. Brad Stefane popped over to the inside right now on Jeffrey Israel. We'll see if he can get a run coming out of the turn. Cannot, and he's gonna have to slot back in line. And camera over this thing. There you go. He's gonna dive it deep though in turn number 3. He is going to clear the number 6. With the momentum, Israel is still only able to push. It looks like Defane is going to very solidly have that 7th place position. Jeffrey Israel, who started off very well, I think in the top 3, but he's fallen back quite significantly so far. After rally back here, and we're starting to form a few distinct packs. That first pack all the way from Malachi Drake to Will Cloud, then Brad Stefane to Will Cloud is about 6/10 according to the counter. Then we have a strung out middle pack, and then back there behind the 2, that's Justin Hughes. He's kind of in that 3rd pack back here. Back up front, they're battling for 2nd, Dean Demmer and Paul Irvin, which allows Malachi Drake to pull away. Getting racy side by side means no one can get the best run off, and Malachi Drake pulled away to exactly half a second. And that's exactly what half a second looks like. It's a big gap. So for people out there, you want to try and fight for 10ths on the racetrack. And that's exactly why, because it matters a lot. Dean Demmer is able to kind of break free out of the grasp. He's going to try and reel back Malachi Drake right now. Aaron Brown is kind of rallied up a little bit. He's battling for 3rd. I don't know if the 51 got into the wall a little bit. Definitely had to back out some, allowing Aaron Brown to get a little more run down the backstretch. They're side by side entering the middle section, which is very, very difficult. But they managed to get through. Ryan Lorenzo, not battling, is able to catch quite quickly to the 2, being followed by Will Cloud, and they're going to try to navigate their car around this. Still side by side, the 751 entering lap number 9. Just shy of a 10, not a 10, a 6th of this event. Okay, Tyler. No, this is a great time. I'll bring up Noah. And he did mention to me earlier that you want an interview, and Pocono kind of being the way it is, very big, very strung out, can be a little boring at times. We'll pull Noah into the booth, see if he has any excitement. Hey Noah, it's Matt in the booth, you copy?
Hey Matt, good to see you. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Alright, I'm gonna move the camera over to you. You're the number 57, the iconic number. Noah Walter, and you're in pit road. What happened?
Yeah. Okay, so I did show up tonight. However, I did a pace lap, but my wheel wasn't connected. So that was me on the mouse. So I just drove around the lap once and then put it in the pit road with the mouse. That's it.
Well, at least your night's less eventful than mine. I don't know how to put that.
Well, I mean, you got a pretty good battle for the lead going on here. What, Demmer and Drake have been going at it.
Yeah, they're currently side by side. Looks like entering turn number 3.
Coming out of 3 there, we can see Drake still has the lead. Demmer right behind. Sorry, the broadcast voice kicked in.
Yeah, but for those that don't know, Noah Walter does broadcast for Forklift Media. If you want to, kind of give a little about your broadcast, I'm sure Brady wouldn't mind, especially being the sponsor for the series.
I know, that's kind of the whole point, right? Is I sponsor the series. It's the only reason I'd say anything. We're gonna be rounding out
We
the.
gotta give you a shout out. It's like a mandatory requirement at this point.
We broadcast the Coast to Coast Spino series on Thursdays. We're approaching the season finale, so go ahead and tune in on that this Thursday. So that's going to be tomorrow. Also going to be rounding out the last couple races in the Cascar Short Filming Cup series. Those are on Sundays at 7. So please go ahead and join us. Glad to see you. We're going to be taking a break from broadcasting for a little while. So we're going to have guys like Matt up here in the booth with you tonight, putting on a good show. You're going to be taking up some of my contracts.
Yeah, trying to fill it in, but you're one heck of a broadcaster, so those are going to be some tough shoes to fill.
Hey, we both have a great graphics partner, Pierce Graphics, so of course got to give them the love as well. But thanks for bringing me up here, Matt. Good luck with tonight. It seems like you got a great race on your hands, a lot of good battles going on throughout the field. Definitely a good battle for the lead, so thank you once again for having me up here. Good luck, and hope to see all guys next time.
Yep, hope to see you on the track, maybe doing a few more laps in this race, but... Alright, Noah just went back. He's going to be chilling on pit road with his 57. He at least got some TV time out of that. But, as we were talking, Dean Demmer did do a very smooth and clean pass over Malachi Drake. Slowly pulling away, though, not too much. Drake is able to kind of stay in the draft there. It could be something with tire saving, could be Malachi Drake using up his tires, who knows? But with 60%, I'm expecting probably one green flag pit stop. And back there, I saw the 51 clobbered the wall. Paul Irvin has fallen back. He was fighting in the top 3 for a while. Right now, he's all the way back to 8th. Trying to regain right now. He's putting some pressure on Jeffrey Israel Jr., another guy who's trying to claw his way back up to the front also. Brett Stefane managed to pass both of these guys. And Stefane just clobbered the wall. That was a hard hit. You're going to see the speed difference. The 6 is wicked quick down the front stretch. But they're going to push because they didn't get to a point where you can easily pull out. They're trying to enter in the turn. Israel to the inside along with Paul Irvin. And they are going to clear Mr. Stefane and end up side by side themselves. Actually, a little farther back, there's a group that's 3 wide with Nicholas Fuller, Riley Marabello making his second appearance. His numbers should change in the future, and I see Joseph Darnell in that fight as well. Well, it looks like Brad Stefane backed out of it, but gave the 51 a little shot there at the end. They have this solved out, but behind them, they do not. I can see Fuller and Marabello still battling side by side. We're going to move the camera over to them. Oh, that's the 57. Hi, Noah. What is... Okay. Those Fuller having a little different scheme than what I'm used to. And, of course, as I'm able to actually get the camera over to them, they manage to kind of solve it. But still very close to each other, and Brad Stefane still having issues. I don't know if that car is getting tight because he's contacted the wall a few times, but was doing great and just started falling back very quickly. And he's actually going to take it down pit road. I might be a steering issue with it, which is very unfortunate for Brad. Well, we're at it. Kind of calm down at the front. I'm going to try and find some battles through the field. Michael Steele on the number 5. He's competing in every race so far, along with Justin Hughes. Some local guys here. Behind him, number 4, Matt Cochran. He's just chilling back there. The Bass Pro Shops Camry, along with James Coy in the 06. Currently 18th. Greg Fronek in 19th. We have a big field here tonight. Looks like Fronek and Carroll are putting on one heck of a show. On track. We have 23 cars, 24 if you include Noah, the one just chilling on pit road. Go back up to the lead though. Looks like we do have a battle for third. I think Brian Lorenzo just passed Malachi Drake for the second place position. Malachi Drake slowly fading back. Dean Demmer kind of pulling away here. But now it's Brian Lorenzo going to try and get that car in clean air, see if he can chase down Dean. Brian is really good with tire saving, as I've seen him in other series, so he definitely has a shot to chase down Dean before we get to the green flag pit stops. And behind this pack of 3 up front, we have Aaron Brown in 4th. He's 4 seconds away from the lead, 3.2 seconds away from Malachi Drake. There we go. This is a good battle between these two. Riley Marabello and Paul Irvin. My quick work of it, because Irvin gets high up on the track. Car's going to be a little tight on him. I wouldn't be shocked if Paul Irvin's one of our first guys to go down pit road. Looks like he really kind of benefit from new tires. That's typically what happens. I saw the 2 back there getting really wide. Might have hit the wall a little bit because he did lose some time to Fuller and Lapinus. Lapinus, though, to the inside of Fuller, entering turns number 1. Would have been a late move. Thought again, and stuck back in line. But would not shock me kind of next lap if Lapinus is able to get a run on Fuller, and these guys are battling just inside the top 10. Very solid run for these guys. Lapinus being our winner last week, he managed to get some pit strategy there at the end. Very strong drive for him, strong car, and that pit strategy kind of sealed the deal at Kentucky. And it looks like coming down for scheduled pit stops. I see a few of them, and yep, the 51 going to be leading us down. So actually, if these are scheduled pit stops, we would need to do one more to the end. And with 3 sets of tires, one this time, one next time, then if there's a late race caution, you still have one then. Probably will spread the field out a lot more than what it has been. Very clean so far, and it's kind of typical what happens. You get a clean run, and then people tend to get more spaced out. You get more spaced out, tendency to have less cautions. But if one person were, in theory, to have a self spin, I don't want to jinx it. You can boo me if I do. And then it kind of would bunch up the field, and in a lot of leagues, chaos would ensue. This league is really good with keeping it clean. Well, especially this series is really good. Right now, Dunford for his scheduled stop. Dean Demmer still up front. He has not pitted yet. And he is going to come in this time by. We'll see if Brian decides to stay out. And I read through the rule book. If he stays out, he would get an extra bonus point. Actually, no, he already pitted. He's in 7th. So our new leader, be Dustin Carroll in the 93. He hasn't pitted yet. It's actually coming down this time by. Oh no, he was just blinking on me there. But James Coy also staying out. And it looks like Dean Demmer coming out of the... It's a very... Not a long pit road entry. It's very straight here. A lot of tracks, they make you have to be on the apron and exit on the backstretch. This one, you're exiting the pit lane right before it turns 1. And you have to be careful because people are on the track are going to be meeting up with you. And if you're not looking at your relative, not looking at your mirrors, could be a dangerous situation, but we're all good here. And Bronzo is actually able to get in front of Dean Demmer by short pitting there. Dean Demmer, though, with the fresher tires. We'll see if he's able to get around. This would be our battle for the lead when Dustin Carroll and James Coy go down pit road. Dean right now is just stalking him, just sitting on that back bumper. It looks like kind of waiting in the winds. Doesn't look like he's ready to make a move quite yet. Maybe doesn't have a run. And actually, we'll go on a cockpit view of Dean, see what he sees. Actually, he's to the inside right now. We're gonna put us back side by side right now. Technically, it's for 3rd. Well, 2nd. The 93 pitted. Makes quick work. I don't know if Brian purposely let up. But Dean Demmer up to 2nd. James Coy down pit road. So these guys are back leading as of now. But Carroll is exiting. Carroll's going to exit the pits. Front of the 73. And that's Riley Maribel in 7th, so I think Dustin Carroll put down a lap. To lead though, even though Dean took the lead with ease, he isn't pulling away. He's only pulled away so far to 0.3 of a second over Brian. And right now down the front stretch, it's Brian's chance to kind of take the draft, try and get closer to Dean. And Will Cloud's actually starting to be in this picture as well. Was not expecting him to kind of be in the frame. But Will Cloud also doing a great job too. Managed to get around Malachi Drake, our pole sitter. And he's closing in on these guys. He's 0.5 back from Brian. And if these guys get racy, they get side by side in front of them, that's going to bring Will up to them in no time. And then we'd have a 3-way battle for the lead. We're right here on lap number 25. Just shy of halfway here at Pocono. I don't know why Brown hasn't lapped the field. He's currently sitting in 5th, you know. He's gotta turn the NOS on. He's 2.3 seconds away from Malachi Drake too. I know, it is very embarrassing. Throughout the field, it looks like this is our closest battle. Everybody else is kind of spaced out. especially with green flag pit stops, it just paces out even more. We're not right on top of each other like we were at Bristol, where it's action packed almost the entire duration. I'll try to be continuing to take a look at that gap, see if it gets smaller. Hopefully it does, for entertainment's sake. Back there though, I see the 51, that a kind of purple Rick Ware racing car, side by side with the 83. Or 61, my apologies. He finished second last week, so a very talented driver, but he's off the pace as of now. It looks like he just got really wide in that turn. '61's actually having a very solid race in P11. Justin Hughes just passed him, so I don't know. He probably just got out of shape a little bit. Looks like he is trying to regroup to take over that spot because he's not losing a ton of ground. And actually, with the 3 getting tight there, he's going to poke his nose to the inside. The 19 of Brandon Dunford is going to try and fill in that gap. Entering turn number 1, he manages to take over the spot. It does seem like something's wrong with the 61, like a tire issue, like old tire issue. As he has fallen back quite significantly, back to 13. And like a lap ago, he was in 9th or 10th. Position, Brandon Dunford managed to put himself in the top 10. Michael Steele just got around the 3. He's going to put himself in 11. Guys might have it sorted out, might not. We'll see if the 3 can get a run and get to the inside of the 5, or if he chooses kind of just to stick in line, and it looks like that's what he decides he's going to do. Well, I did tell you I was continuing to take a look at the lead. Brian Lorenzo has managed to close in a second would be a lot. A 10th over Dean Demmer. Slowly closing in there. Will Cloud, something happened to him unfortunately, and he's back 2.5 seconds back. Malachi Drake is 3/10 off of him, and Aaron Brown is a little closer to passing someone. Actually, no, he got passed by Marabello. And right now, Will Cloud under pressure for that top 3. Remember, top 3 will get an interview. You know, you're all dying to want to talk to me here at the end. You clearly don't care about points. But Marabello takes advantage of that. He's going to go to the inside of Malachi Drake. Malachi Drake looking above the 48. We're going to 3 wide out of the turn number 3. Will Cloud blacks out of it. Malachi Drake is going to take over 3rd place position. Will Cloud currently fell back to 5th, but he's actually under pressure right now from Aaron Brown. And Aaron Brown is going to successfully make the pass. And Will Cloud's going to fall back to 6th. But just because of the position he was put in, he's now going to have to try and make up those 3 spots that he lost in a series of half a lap. Marabello, though, is doing a great job saving his tires. He's currently stuck in the 07. Will Cloud pancake to the wall. The back of your screen. The 73 going to dive it down, turns number... Actually, no, we're in turn number 3. And exiting the turn, he's going to make the pass on Malachi Drake. Malachi Drake does not have a run to do the crossover. So Riley Marabello now up to third place position. Because of this, these guys are losing even more time than the top two. Marabello's going to have to do one heck of a job to reel him in, and we're a little over halfway of this event. Marabello's going to have to make up for those people that are dying to wonder. We're going to have to make up a 3.6 second gap to get to Brian, and Brian's even closer to Dean, which will be interesting. So we'll go to that instead of looking at our friend Aaron Brown that everybody loves so much. See, eventually Brian will get a run on the 41, going to pop it to the inside, but right now, just sticking into the wings of the 41 of Dean, that Hooters Camaro. Looks like Brian's able to close it in turn one. Loses a little bit on exit. Oh, he has to back out of it, or he would pancake the wall. And Aaron Brown managed to get around Malachi Drake, so Aaron Brown up to fourth. I probably gave the commentator curse on Brian because he lost a 10 as soon as I put the camera on him. These guys are staying very, very steady so far. Between these two will probably come to that last pit stop. Who can get out of the pits more efficiently? Brian tries to short pit again, but if you short pit, twice in a row, may end up hurting you because the tire life is just gonna continue to grow if you hit early multiple times. But off of that turn, Brian able to gain a little ground. And now he dives in really deep in turn number... I keep on trying to say this is turn number 2. Oh, turn number 3. But on exit, he actually loses some ground. And at this point, down the long stretch, will be Brian's best opportunity to try and make a move. So I'm sure he's trying to plan something in that car, see what he can do to get by. Last time I went to the cockpit, they ended up, trying to pass each other like race car drivers. So I'm going to go to Brian, see how I'm going to curse him. That time, according to the cockpit view, does look a little different out here, but it looks like Brian did manage to get on the gas before Dean did. And he's right on his bumper in turn number 1, but unfortunately kind of ran out of time there to try and make a move. But if he does manage to kind of stay on his bumper through the lap, gets another great run, he would actually have enough momentum to get to the inside and maybe complete the pass on Dean. But Dean looking very strong out of turn number 2. Actually manages to pull away about the car length. And also the field, another battle managed to look at. Will be Travis Lapinus. He's currently battling Brandon Dunford for the 9th place position. But before I do that, I want to kind of point out why they were bobbing and weaving down the front stretch. No, that's not because they don't know what they're doing. That's because they're trying to break the draft. And Dean knows if Brian gets to his back bumper, that draft ultimately may lose him the lead. So it's a very defensive move. In the setting like this, it's, you know, very easy to do. At a track where you're very crowded, might not be the best thing to do. But here it's perfectly fine. And you're going to see that at the big long tracks. Like we did see it happen at Indianapolis week number 2. We'll see if they do it again. Doesn't look like he does, because whenever you do that, you scrub up your own speed, trying to prevent the person behind you from getting draft 2. So there's pros and cons. And instead of going to the battle I wanted to, Brian actually did manage to get enough momentum, looked to the inside of Dean, did not have enough momentum to complete the pass, but he's still right there on the back bumper. And he does have plenty of time to try another attempt on Dean. But Dean, like, sorry, I stopped because I laughed at Tyler's comment. I'll get to that shortly because it's kind of funny. But Dean's got a great run out of 2, also great run out of 3. Manages to put on 2 car links between himself and Brian Lorenzo. And yeah, no, nothing's really going on from a race control standpoint. And we have a few good battles going here. Like in the way back, I see the 61, Frank Hughes managed to pass someone for the 16th position. And we're actually seeing lap traffic now. The 6 is staying out of the way. But there's not a whole lot going on. Trying to look at the ticker, trying to go through the field, see what's going on here. And right now, I briefly saw this between Brady Floyd and Will Cloud. Will had to have pit. I don't know why, but Will's back in 13th and Brady's at 14th. And they're actually coming for pit stops right now. Dean Demmer and Brian Lorenzo pitting at the same time, so it's going to be a race off a pit road between these two. So you're going to have a very clean, solid pit stop. And this ultimately may determine who will win this race. It looks like it's scheduled to be on lap number 40 out of 60. And we're probably going to see a lot of people coming in this time too. Kind of being an even number. It's kind of usually what people plan. They don't plan, I'm going to pit on lap 42. But Dean with 4 tires, which seems to be the right call. Brian Lorenzo also going to have a 4 tire. No, he doesn't. Brian Lorenzo manages to get off of pit road. I didn't see left sides go up. I could have missed it though, but Brian Lorenzo with a pit strategy manages to get past Dean. We'll see if Dean is able to rally him back, but there's a significant like 5 car length gap between the two. It's maybe the move of the race. Right now, you know, they're only in 6, but that's because Matt Cochran, Darnell, Dunford, Irvin, and Brown haven't pitted yet. Aaron Brown actually leading. So I know people are going to be ecstatic that he's going to lead a lap, but he's down pit road right now. And Dunford is going to take over the top spot, you know, temporary until he decides to pit. They're kind of staying out. They know they're not going to win the race, but staying out, see if he can catch a caution and actually lead a lap, you know, helping in the point standings as well in that regard. So Brandon Dunford, if he doesn't pit this time, I expect him to be very, very soon with a 60% fuel. Yep, he pits this time by. We'll see if Darnell will take over the top spot. He might. And he will. Joseph Darnell take over. Cochran in the 4. He will take over the 2nd spot because Dunford's in pit road. But Brian Lorenzo, the first guy out on new tires. all the way up to third. So Cochran probably isn't going to lead a lap if Darnell pits next time by. Because Brian is fast with those new tires. You can see how quickly he got up to the back of the floor. Making quick and easy work of him. Brian's going to put himself in the second position. Dean Demmer going to move it over to him. Actually, no, I don't. He's right there, too. But he's got the 4 in his way. In turn number 2, that loses him a lot more time. And the 4 has every right to race him, but Dean just got him in a very bad spot. And still in a very bad spot, too. Actually, the bumper to the 4, he's got to make quick and easy work of him. If he wants to chase down Brian Lorenzo, he lost. Oh my gosh, he lost a lot of time. So, you know, on exit pits, I think they're like 6/10. He lost, you know, almost that same amount just being behind the 4. And I'm going to actually physically show the difference. So there's Dean entering the backstretch, and there's Brian down the middle of the stretch. Actually, this camera shot shows both of them in the same picture. So Dean had to get aggressive to get around Matt. Darnell, 9.5 seconds ahead. I don't know when Darnell's gonna pit. I don't know when he pitted last, but he's pitted now. Because I knew it had to be soon. But everybody is good to the end on fuel. However, tires-wise, the only time people are going to take that extra set of tires is if we have a caution under the 15 lap to go mark. And as they approach Steele, I believe, yep, Steele's not a lap down now. We'll see if Steele kind of lets Brian through, if he holds him up. I know Dean, as he's looking at his relative, is like, please hold him up. I got to try and catch back up to him. But Dean is actually falling back even more to Brian. Was definitely shocking with Brian, such a fast pit stop and the car is still flying. Gap right now between the two is 1.4 seconds, and I do not think Dean can be able to catch up to the back bumper of Brian Lorenzo without some unnatural assistance. But Brian's going to catch Steele in a very bad spot. Steele not freely letting him by, but also not blocking the leader either. They're both going to rocket past this. Well, I guess not rocket past the 6, but they are going to pass him. Now he goes wide, and Brian's going to look down low. So Steele is going to give up the spot. Trying to be a nice guy. 6 is back of your screen is entering pit road. Field. I'm going to see if there's any other notable battles. Brandon Dunford, Travis Lapinus, seems like they're back at it again. Dunford poked his nose to the inside, but he is way too far back to make a move. But on the exit, one heck of a run out of the 19. He's going to shoot to the inside of the 16. But doesn't look like he's going to clear him as they enter turn number 2. However, Lapinus may back out of it, and he does, because this turn kind of stinks to be side-by-side in. And Dunford is going to take over the 7th place position. Will Cloud somehow is up to 6. It had to be from pit cycles. Will is in no man's land at the moment. He's got Brian Dunford 4.7 seconds ahead of it, or behind him. and Aaron Brown 2.1 seconds ahead of him. Looks like Aaron's kind of also by himself as well. And with Malachi Drake. Fourth, still a good showing. You know, he needs the points after blowing up a few times. And then Marabello. Third by himself, but Brady Floyd on fresher tires. It appears Brady is in the 16th position, 1 lap down. The person he would be battling would be Frank Hughes, who was on pit road. So he's actually going to be battling Michael Steele. 3 seconds ahead of Brady. Oh, I missed something. Dean Decker somehow managed to gain all that time up on Brian. And actually closing in on him too. 0.2 of a second right now between first and second. Looking at all the lap cars behind him, I think Brian got held up big time. And Dean did not. And we still have a long race left ahead of us, being such a big track. And right now, first and second are right on top of each other. 0.2 if you want to be scientific. And the 51 there in your picture, he's a lap car. Irvin is currently in 14th. He is the first car 1 lap down. So if a Lucky Dog were to come out, he would get that position. And Michael Steele would be battling him for the spot too. So if Steele can get up there, he would be fighting Irvin pretty hard. .41 to the inside, dodges down entering turn number 1. They're going to be side by side. Brian was really high on the track, but on exit, he's able to get more momentum than the 41. He's able to clear him, get that spot back. The 51, the lap car, is able to kind of put himself in that gap, and right now he's split the middle between the two. Racing them really hard as a lap car, but he's trying to get his lap back. Definitely not what Dean wants to see though, because he's now going to have to battle him really hard to get second, well, maintain second, get a shot back once again at Brian. Because of that, he's going to lose 0.2. Just trying to get around the 51. The 51 with momentum, but decides to actually push Dean down the front stretch. Just inside of 10 laps to go here at Pocono. And so far, Tyler, you are having one easy job tonight. Due to the draft, Dean has caught up 10th to Brian. Brian still has probably about his best race that he wants to be right in front of him in order to hold up Dean. Both these guys are very talented. They're trying to find a way to get around each other. You can see Dean was wrapping around the inside, see if he can find some extra speed. Actually lost a little bit. And Irvin, once again, just pushing him. Looks like Irvin has decided to stay out of this battle, comes to the end, which is a very smart choice from him. And he's in a very solid position to not get put 4 laps down, and he would still be in Lucky Dog position. Greg Fronick in the 13 is the last car in the lead lap. He's just exiting 2. And these guys are just, well, he was just entering 2, and these guys are just entering 2 also. So there is a chance that Brian may catch up to Fronick. Yep, we can see them right now, both on the front stretch. Dean got extremely tight off of the turn, costing him more ground to Brian. Brian is able to still keep it steady. And I wonder if Dean was trying to use up his stuff to also catch Brian too. So Dean's tires might be in worse shape than Brian's, and give Brian a tire advantage, he will be all over that. See right now, we're back up to roughly 5 car lengths between the two. You wonder what happened to Brad Stefane? I did see him enter pit road. He clobbered the wall hard a few times, so I wonder if he just knocked the toe out of alignment too bad. I believe, I can't tell if he left the session. Yeah, it did. It just goes out. This time by, he will be hitting lap number 55 out of 60. Battle for the lead isn't over yet, and I'm trying not to repeat myself so it doesn't get boring, but this is the only battle that's going on right now on the track. And yeah, I do see that he left. For those wondering, I am referring to Brad Stefane with his early exit, which was 26 laps ago. To the end of this thing, I wonder if lap cars will be a thing. It may help the 41 try and get around Brian. You can see both of them right now in the same camera shot. If they catch, I think they're going to catch the 13, and it'll be right at the end. Probably with a couple laps still left to go, but Greg Fronek is going to be a factor in determining who wins this race. Whether it goes high and stays out of the way, or if he tries to keep that lead lap. But he would be battling Paul Irvin, who is kind of hooked onto the back of these guys. Yeah, Daniel Fuller has unfortunately kind of been at the back all day, but to the lead right now, 41 to the inside, Brian Lorenzo. Brian coming down the track, the side draft, side by side on the start finish line. 5 laps to go here at Pocono. Actually, 4 laps to go here at Pocono. Brian right now side by side as they enter turn 1. Dean slides up a little bit. They're kind of leaning on each other on exit. Hughes trying to take a lap back. He's not competing for position, but he backs out of it too. The 77 has to kind of concede over the first place position right now. He's looking to do the crossover right now on Dean. Dean shuts the door on him. Enter turn number 2. Brian to the back bumper of the 41. Very square hit between the two, you know, race each other with respect before. So I don't know if it was intended to move him, but he did give him a good shove in the back and lost a few tenths to that. Right now with 3 laps to go, Brian's trying to do what he can to get over the lead. And right now, as I said, with a couple laps to go, they are going to catch the 13, and sure enough, they have. 13 still on the track. We'll see as they enter the turn if he decides to go high out of the way or if he's going to continue racing. Right now he's not an issue, but it'll be turn 3 where he has to make his choice on where he wants to position his car. And he is going to go wide, let the leaders by. Smart move from him. I don't want to be a part of this mess either. But Brian is able to exit, but he lost more ground than the 41 trying to get around the lap car. 2 laps to go here at Pocono. Brian Lorenzo chasing down Dean Demmer. Dean managed to take the lead. The 61 to the inside right now, the 77. Probably the last thing he wants to have. And lap cars back behind him. One of them just hit the wall pretty good. And then turn 2, Brian dives in a lot deeper, but on exit, can he get to the throttle? It's pretty much about the same time as Dean did. And then 3, Dean dives in a lot deeper. Lap car is going to hurt his exit. That's going to help Brian close in the gap with 1 lap to go here at Pocono. Brian's got 3 more corners to try and pass Dean Demmer, or Dean might get his first win of the season. Well, for the Cup Series, I saw he has a few wins, actually 1 win and a few solid finishes in the Truck Series. But Brian Lorenzo poking down low as they're about ready to enter turn number 2, and 61 is getting involved in this fight also. So the lap car is affecting Brian's exit and loses Brian a couple car lengths. I believe that put the nail in the coffin. Dean Demmer has 1 more turn, and then he's going to see the start-finish line. And out of turn number 3, Dean Demmer is going to win here at Pocono, caution-free. So race control had the easiest job out of everybody. And Dean Demmer manages to win this race. Brian Lorenzo second, Riley Marabello in the 3rd place position. Aaron Brown, Ticker just moved, put him in 5th. Malachi Drake in 4th. Brandon Dunford in 6th. Will Cloud managed to climb up to 7th. Travis Lapinus in 8th. Joseph Darnell in 9th. And Justin Hughes in 10th. Kind of congratulating him there. You can see a bunch of people, the 51, 77, all congratulating him. I'm curious if that bump was intentional. I believe if Brian wanted to, he could move him, but still we have another very clean finish here. And Riley Marabello giving Dean a congratulatory bump on the back bumper. And the top 3 are going to get their picture taken, so we're going to see Riley win in the pits. Riley's going to have to come back out to get his picture taken. But after 10th is going to be Matt Cochran, Paul Urban in 12th, Greg Fronick in 13th, Brady Floyd in 14th, Michael Steele in 15th, Dustin Carroll 16th, Jeffrey Israel Jr. 17th, James Coy 18th, Frank Hughes 19th, and Brian, oh boy, oh I haven't looked at the camera on him. Brian Norsworthy in 20th. And then outside of 20th, Fuller in 21st. He didn't finish the race. Looks like he took a DNF. Brad Stefani in 22nd. Dominic Hughes in 23rd. And Noah Walter. We talked to him early on. He had 1 lap and he's going to be in 4th. The picture time. That's actually a really good shot between these guys. I'm going to pause that right here if I can. On my end. Good shot. But you know what? I want to see some donuts from the 41, so I'm going to have to back up to this. And right now is Dean's moment of glory. He gets to burn it down here at Pocono right on the start-finish line. Right under Barney the flagman. Giving Barney a smoke bath. And after the celebration, we will be going into interviews. We're going to be looking at Brian, who's already in the waiting room. And we're going to be interviewing Dean, who was in first, and in third was 57. All right, we'll be starting off with Riley. Hey, Riley, it's Matt in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I do. What's up, Matt?
So top three, nice run for you. Was seeing you slowly climb through the field there at the end. So kind of how was it? Kind of making your journey up to the top three position and battling a lot of different people tonight.
Well, I must say it was a pretty good race, especially for starting 21st. So hard to pass here, and it's extremely not track dependent, draft dependent here at this racetrack. So getting by people was a challenge. I had to make some pretty daring moves. I think I got to somebody's outside. I pushed somebody, and then I went to the inside. Got like an old 2-for-1 going into turn one. It was a lot of fun though. Blew through my pit box in the second pit stop there, so it cost me a little bit of time and possibly a shot at the victory. But I don't know if we had I don't even know if we had a shot at the victory, considering the fact that we were so far back after starting 21st. So I'll take a third place. It's great to be here at Pocono. I love this racetrack, and congrats to Dean on the win here.
Yeah, seeing you congratulating him. You guys know each other like in different series or?
No, just
Okay.
congrats. Respect. I like to give people respect on here.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Also, kind of throughout the race too. Yeah, you did say you started 21st. Had a lot of good moves. There through the field. Was there any like scary moments for you as you're climbing through, kind of going through everybody?
No, not really. I was more or less just focused on my driving and trying to get the most out of the car. That's really it. I wasn't really focused on anybody else, just myself, kind of tunnel vision there. I feel like that's what kind of helped me solidify this third place finish. And I believe this is actually my second top 5 on the season. We ran Bristol, finished second, lost to Sam with like 10 to go or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, when you do show up strong performances, hopefully we see you in the future. Before we let you go, though, I'm gonna say this. Is there anyone you want to thank for your performance tonight?
Yeah, Spino Racing and everybody there who makes this deal possible. I know I don't, get any support from them, but they're great guys. And John Owen, you know him. You were in the Coast to Coast Cup Series with me and Sam Brochu, and we got that championship there in season 4, which was cool. So yeah, Spino Racing, everybody there. Go check out Larson Land on Instagram at Larson Land. STM Karting, if you want to go kart racing at San Diego Speedway in Maryland, and you're in the area, just check them out. They rent out carts. I think it's like $220 a race. My college, Harvard Community College, 91.1 WHFC radio network. It's been great working for them the last 2 weeks. It's been a lot of fun here. So good night overall, I would say.
Gotcha. Sounds good. So thank you for showing up and have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. You too, Matt.
All right. That was Riley Marabello. Came in the third place position. We are going to bring up Brian Lorenzo. I have a lot of questions for Brian. And I'm glad I get to ask him them. Hey Brian, Matt in the booth, you copy?
Yep, loud and clear.
Alright, so second place finish for you. Very solid. I do know you wanted to win there at the end. But how was it, battling Dean and you had to work your way up to the top two, and then you guys kept on battling each other the entire race.
It was definitely a great battle. Really respectful racing between me and Dean. Even when we repped up the other, it was really, really clean racing. He didn't stuff me in the wall. I didn't stuff him in the wall. And it was just a good race at the end there. It was most of the race I know was boring, but at the end there we really turned up the jets. Really turned on the jets.
Yeah, you at least gave it a good ending, so hopefully that's what people remember, not the whole middle of it. but
Yep, yep.
but yeah, I did see a few bumps there. There's one like solid hit I think to Dean. Enter in turn 3. Was that? I'm just curious. Was that intentional at all, or just part of
We
racing?
were just racing, man. We were just racing.
Gotcha. All right, yeah. Based on the way you guys raced, it didn't seem like there was any bad blood, but it was really entertaining. Really clean, as you said. And then also through the field, I know you're climbing up the field with Will. Something happened to him. I think he got into the wall a few times. But how was that aspect too, trying to pass people left and right?
Oh, it was the most difficult. This car and this track combination was probably the worst thing I've seen. And me and Dean were just talking about it in the waiting. We both agreed that it didn't matter who was in the lead of that race. You was gonna win. Um, I like when he was behind me. He had lap cars pushing him down the straightaway, and that's really what he even admitted that being one of the reasons why he was able to get me there at the end, and that's what kept us so close. But if it wasn't for the lap cars keeping us together, I mean, honestly, I don't think he would have passed me because the dirty air, like, even if you try to set up a pass with stock cars, you would usually try to set up a pass to get a run down the straightaway, but you just can't do that here because the car just gets so tight up the track. So yeah, that was definitely a struggle all night, but we got through it and we got a solid second place finish.
Yeah, it's some very solid points for you there at the end. Yeah, I did notice that also. Like you see a lot of people get a move, they poke to the inside, and like instantly they would have to kind of go back and fall back in line. So yeah, unfortunately, kind of the way it is. I'm not sure where this puts you in standings, but solid finishes kind of throughout. And then with Auto Club coming up next, you feeling confident about that one?
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Any track that for me, any track that requires tire saving and long run speed is going to be a big factor. That's where we're going to be strong at. We showed it tonight. We showed it last week. Unfortunately, we got unlucky last week. Um, so yeah, definitely excited.
Good. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank for your performance tonight?
Yeah, actually a few. I'd like to thank Forklook Media for not only sponsoring the series, but sponsoring this car, being the primary sponsor for this Ford Mustang 77. They've been on the car all season long, and I'm proud to rep this company. I'm proud to run well and put on exciting races for them and bring them the results they want. Uh, really thank Noah. I know he hopped in here earlier as he retired from the race because he was literally racing on a mouse and keyboard. Uh, I'd like to thank Pierce Graphics. They're always they're the background when it comes to setting up broadcasts and stuff, and a lot of leagues are starting to use their stuff up to get the graphics and all that stuff. And big thank you to him. He was on this car as well. I'd like to thank Adra Esports for giving me the shot to race for them in the EFRL Next Gen series. And I'd like to thank you guys for putting on a show.
All right, thank you. Okay, it's cool to hear that Chris is getting some more exposure with Pierce Graphics. Every time you get in the top 3, I also need to point out that I got some Pierce Graphics on the stream as well. And we also did talk to Noah early on before he left the session. He kind of talked about 4 O'Clock Media, all of the broadcasting he's doing, and overall great people. So definitely well worth your support. But Brian, nice having you here. I'm sure we'll see you in the future, but have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, man.
All right, that was Brian, number 77. came home in second. We're going to talk to Dean, and I'll wrap it up with some final thoughts about Pocono. Hey, Dean, Rant and Booth, you copy?
I do.
So, one heck of a battle. I have a feeling you might say the same thing that Brian has said. But first of all, kind of how was it between you two? And it did seem like some hard, but clean racing between you guys.
Yeah, Brian and I seemed to be the class of the field all night. We pulled away there. I think it was that second run, like 4 seconds over third place. So
Yeah, it
I
was a
knew we
lot.
were. Yeah, it was either gonna be me or him, and honestly, he probably would have got the win there if I didn't have Paul Irvin pushing me. Uh, but yeah, I mean, you just get so tight with these cars, so whoever's leading can kind of control the dirty air on your nose, and you can't really get runs off the corner. But yeah, I mean, these cars were fast all night long, and I'm glad I could bring it home.
Yeah, it's nice having you in the booth. For first win this season. Brian also was saying something very similar with being very difficult to pass. And then the lap cars there at the end definitely affected the outcome of this. It's very noticeable.
Yeah, we were about to go three wide in the tunnel turn, and
It was
I
scary.
know Brian and I were both over the radio screaming, so I'm glad he got out of the way. But but yeah, that would have been probably not good for either of us if we went in there three wide. So that was probably the scariest part. But yeah, I mean, right there at the end, like I said, I had Paul pushing me, so I just needed to get to the inside of him, and then I finally had the opportunity and just kind of took away the middle groove there, and we roughed each other up, and then he tried to get me back in turn three. It was a lot of fun racing there.
Gotcha. And then next week we're heading to Auto Club, so you're feeling confident about that one?
Yeah, I love Auto Club, man. I won a high split NIS race there last year, so I feel like I got a pretty good, comfortable grip on the track, and I think I know what I need to do.
All right, sounds good. Brian said something very similar. He likes the track, so wouldn't be shocked if we see both of you guys kind of duking it out once more. Um,
Yeah, Brian's a clean racer, and we showed it there at the end of the race, so appreciate him.
mhm. Yeah, it makes it very entertaining, broadcast wise, when you have a lot of hard but clean racing too.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, man. I want to race people hard. I want to race them close, and when they do it back, I'm not even mad about it because that's awesome.
Yeah. Before we let you go, though, is there anyone you want to thank for your performance?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting as always. You guys put on a great show. And I want to thank Paul Irvin for helping me get back to Brian. And this beautiful new Hooters car that is going to be running real life here. So um, yeah, I had a blast tonight.
Gotcha. Well, nice having you in the booth. Feel like we'll see you in the top three more often, if not a few more wins. No, it is your first cup win tonight, but you did win in EFRL before. So
Yeah, yeah, I felt confident last week at Kentucky, but I got wrecked out, three wide crash. So I'm glad I could come back tonight and get a win. It feels good.
yeah, some nice redemption. Um, so I assume we'll see you next week, like we have seen you all season. But have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, man. You too.
All right, that was Dean. Came home with a win tonight. Gonna go through some fast thoughts for myself, and whoever wants to actually listen to them. But overall, Pocono, there's only so much you can do. But overall, I thought it was decent. Um, so at least there was, content you could kind of pull out when the group of people you were watching started getting 3-4 seconds apart from each other. But overall, I personally liked it. Hopefully, you guys did too. And next week we will be at Auto Club. On my schedule, it is highlighted in yellow, which means it's a classic series race. Before this, I asked Brady kind of what that was. The response I get was pretty much saying that it was kind of a mini championship inside the actual one. So with people paying an entry fee for the series, would not shock me if there was a little money involved too on these races that were highlighted in yellow. So that being Auto Club next week, and then we're gonna have a few weeks off, and then the other one highlighted in yellow is Richmond, and then Charlotte and Watkins Glen, and those ones are kind of towards the end of the season. So in April, and then enough of Watkins Glen in May before we get to our ground of 10. This was Matt in the booth to do it solo tonight, and have a good rest of the night. We will see you next week, same time,